Well, I've dragged my fermenting fridge inside, my solar powered one. It's actually just a smoker. I just tried it out as a fermenter and pointed it at the sun, and it worked pretty well. It got up to 55 degrees, but the problem is the sun goes down, doesn't it? So I'm testing out whether you can put a light bulb. This is a 25 watt light bulb. I tried to find one that put out a lot of heat, because the ones that are LEDs that obviously don't put out too much heat. This one is supposed to. It's a coiled shaped one, and the next step will be probably a higher wattage one if it's not getting hot enough. So today I bought a little bobbiny thing. I can't remember what they call them. A baton that you plug your light bulb into. Wired it up. Just plugged it in there. So at the moment I am just testing out. See, it's 25 degrees usually anyway inside, even though it's not actually that hot now. I'm just going to see if it keeps climbing or not, because otherwise I'm going to have to buy a heat lamp. We'll solve it. Well, the fermenting fridge has gone from 25 degrees to 39 at the moment in an hour. So I think this wattage is 25 watts. So I think it's going to have to be a bit higher than that. I want to keep the wattage down so it doesn't cost so much power, but because I could do fermenting in summer and then drag this in during the night time and then plug the bulb in, I thought maybe it could hold the temperature, but it's holding at 39, and I will check it again in an hour's time and just see what's going on. Now at 40. It's a good sign. I hope it keeps climbing to 65. So we are at 2 hours and 45 minutes. We began at 25 degrees, and the light bulb has been on now for 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's taken that long to bring the temperature up to 45. That's not fast enough for me, so I'm going to be upgrading the bulb to a higher wattage. Rightio, this is my fermenter that I'm been building, smoker fermenter hybrid thing. I got given this STC1000 from a guy. He said it cost him $15 online, so I actually better put some money in the mailbox for him, even though I don't see him anymore. I've got a safety switch here, that's the power in. I've got this little black probe which I've just dropped through the top of the fridge, and this here is the light cable, so the light's hooked up into the back here, and then we've got the power line goes out and then into a cut-off, and just in case there's any problems it'll cut off without blowing fuses. And inside I tried a 25 watt light bulb. Hold on, just move my chair. I can't bend. Smells like tobacco in here. So here's the light bulb. 25 watt. It was 25 watt. At the moment this is 75 watts. So the temperature, I better close it. It's 45 degrees in there at the moment. So it took me 3 hours with a 25 watt bulb to get to 47 last night. So now I've got a more powerful bulb in there. So I've set the F2. Sorry about that. So what you do is you hold this button, the S button, and F1 you set the lower and top range of what your top temperature you want to achieve inside is, and I've set it to 65 degrees. And I thought if you hold this button F2 here, I thought it determined the lower temperature that you want to stop it from dropping to, and so I tried to set it to 60 degrees and it wouldn't let me do it. And then so a bit more study, I found out that this F2 button, F2 selection doesn't set the lower temperature, it sets the range. So if I want it to be within to shut off at 60 degrees, I need to have it at a 5 degree range. So if my top temperature is 60 or 65, sorry, then I need to set it within 5 degrees range so that when it drops to 60 it comes back on again. So this is heated up pretty quick because I've opened the door and it's at 44, so 2 degrees off what I achieved last night in 3 hours. This has only been going for 20 minutes so far. So what I've done here, I glue a stereo magnet to the bottom, and that way I can just stick it to the fridge. Yeah, so wish me luck. I'll try and get some of this tobacco here, wet some of the good stuff down, and throw a wet towel on the bottom of here and see what kind of humidity I can get. I just recorded this turning itself off, and for some stupid reason I've got a video of the floor even though I was looking straight at this thing. So it's got to 65 degrees and it's shut itself off, so that's great. Now it is dropping 63, and when it gets to 60 I'm going to be back to record it to hopefully see if it turns itself back on again. Well, I was outside getting wood. I couldn't believe how quickly that dropped. It only took less than 2 minutes to drop 5 degrees. It wasn't even like that yesterday, so it must be cold in the room or something like that, and ambient loss from the walls of the fridge and things like that. So it's turned itself back on at 60, which is brilliant. I said a little prayer to make sure I get it all the wiring right, because I did it off a recipe on the internet, and yeah, it came out good, because I got no idea when it comes to hooking up electricity what does what, and I just kind of pretend it's like a water pipe and connect them all up together, and if I don't understand it, get a recipe off the internet. So it's worked. So we're going back up to 65 again, and then it'll shut itself off. Rightio, I got some tobacco that has been dried and aging now for probably 3 or 4 months. It is my job now to wet all of this down so that it can be ready to go into the fermenter, and then I'll put a towel on the bottom to keep the moisture in. I'm going to make sure I don't damage any of these leaves while they're crispy, because if you get cracks, that's your wrapper done for. So I'm super careful. Oh heck, it's trying to snap. Rightio, and then I'll put them in the fermenter. Oh, she's dropping quick. So we'll get to 60, 62, 61, and on we go again. Oh, thank God that works. Right, so I've had the fermenter going overnight, got some rugs over it just to keep the ambient temperature up so it doesn't lose heat so fast. I've got some silver paper taped to the front to reflect the light inside. the bulb's still going. So what I'm going to do, rather than open the door and let the heat out, is just take this front off, and I'll show you. Hopefully we'll see some tobacco fermenting. So there we go, it's inside. And seeing as there's no water building up on the inside, which is what was happening in summer, I better actually just check this for moisture, just so I can get some experience. So this door is actually quite warm, which makes me think, well, there's heat escaping, even though it's double insulated. So I might put some polystyrene over the front as well. Oh, she's hot in there. Oh. Right, that needs some more water. So it's all sprayed down again. Back for another day.